Hi, good evening to all of you and welcome to the Jdbc YouTube live classes. Hope you are all able to get the audio properly. Everything is properly inside this case. Is it coming on that? Okay. So if you have anything you want to ask, any questions from the previous classes, any kind of doubts if you are getting from the last classes or any sort of questions you are getting, you can please ask. Fine. So here we are talking about the Jdbc statements. What is that now? In this case, we are talking about the Jdbc statements. What all the different types of statements are available and what is the use of statement here. So that things in today's class as I am going to discuss. Let's say first if I'll ask you one question that do you remember in the previous classes where we have used statement? Fine. Did you remember anywhere like where did we used the statement and all? Any idea about that? Where have you used any kind of statement and all? Very simple thing I am asking, and number of times we have used the different types of statement and all other sort of things. That all we have used in these cases, right? So what all the different types of statement, all the sort of things. So first I'll just show you something. One second. So is that all of you are attending? मैडम क्लास तो स्टार्ट कर दीजिए, रहने दीजिए अभी. इसमें देखते रहिए. आप तो थे. Okay, so hi again, welcome to you all JTC India YouTube live classes, and hope you are able to get the sound and all everything, every sort of things here. And any questions from the last classes, any kind of doubts, any questions from the last classes, any kind of doubt from the last classes, anything if you have, you can please ask. Any questions? Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the types of statement. Let's talk about the types of statement here first. So there are following types of statement. First of all, types of statement here. What is this types of statement is? I'll come to this point, what exactly these statements are doing and all other sort of things. But before that, I'll explain you what exactly type of statement is here. So in that, one is the statement. One we have, that is the statement. The second point, what I am having is the prepared statement. Prepared statement. And the third important one is the callable statement. We have these three different types of statements here in case of JDBC. We are having these three different types of statement in the case of JDBC. What all these different types of statements are in JDBC which is available here? The number one is statement, second one is prepared statement, and the third one is callable statement. Is it okay? These three things, I hope it is clear to you all. These three types of statements are there. The first one what I have is the statement, second one what I have is the prepared statement, and the third one what I have is the callable statement. We are having these three basic statements. Well, then after this here we need to understand here where is the use of statement whenever we are writing any kind of JDBC program. So where we are using the statement and what is the exactly use of the statements are here. Is that all of you are attending today's class? Just reply me in the chat box. Audio is okay, video is fine, everything is, are you able to see everything? Is there any questions, anything in this? You can please write in the comment box. Okay, well now. So we have these three types of, as I told you, the statement what we have. One more thing as I am adding in front of these three types of statement here. Just have a look. So as I asked you what all these things are, so this is available under the Java dot, let's say I am writing here, that is Java dot SQL package. It is available inside the Java dot SQL package here. Again, Java dot SQL package. Well, again then I am writing that is the java.sql package. So these all three are the different types of statements what I have written here. These all are the three different types of statements which I have written here. Okay. Now here these statements what I have written, what exactly these statements are? Is it a class? Is it an interface, or what it is? So see, these three are the interface in case interface. These three are the interface in case of java.sql package. These three are the statement in the case of java.sql package. These all three are the statement in the case of java.sql package what we have. Is it okay? Now again, next case is that what we are talking about here is what it is doing. These statements, whatever we have here, what is the task of these statements and what exactly these statements are doing in that case. Okay, let me come to that point. What all this? So in order to understand what is the task of these all statements are, I just need to go on the previous things like what we were studying it, right? What we were doing, how we were writing the first example and all other sort of things. So we need to understand that also, that what was the previous things and how it was working into that. Let me go in that. So first thing, if I am writing here, let me just see here, or let me explain to you. First, if I'll write that steps to write the JDBC program. So what all steps you are adopting? What all steps you are adopting in order to write any kind of JDBC program here? The very first one was you load the driver class. You are talking about loading the driver class. The first thing you are talking about, that is loading the driver class. Fine. The next after this, after loading the driver class, second thing what you are doing is establish the connection. By some means we were establishing the connection that I have explained in the previous videos, in the previous classes, how we are establishing the connection, that with the help of driver manager.get connection and all, that we were doing it, and that already I have explained it in that case. Well, in the next third case what we are doing, with the help of connection, with the help of connection type of object, what we are getting from here, with the help of this connection type of object, we were creating the, so we are writing here con dot. What we were writing? Con dot. Con dot, we were writing something called as the create statement we were writing. Understand it here. So we were writing con dot create statement, which was returning what it was returning here. It was returning to the type of statement st. Inside this we were storing it. It was returning the statement type of object with the help of what? That is the con dot create statement we were doing it here. So the question here what it comes is why do we need this statement object? What is the task of this statement object? So see, with this help of statement object, see, first thing what you are doing here, understand it in this. The very first thing what you have done, suppose this is your corresponding database tool. This one is the corresponding database tool what I have used. So maybe the database tool what I am using here, the database tool whatever as I am using in this case, maybe here it is the MySQL or Oracle, any one of that we are using it here, fine. So one either we are using the MySQL or another one maybe I am using that is the Oracle. Well, after this what I am going to do here is, see, so here depending on this particular type of driver and its databases, we have loaded the driver class. Is it okay? Second thing, now we have established the connection by giving the what? URL, username and password. With which one now? With this one we have established the connection, that is connection got established. Here connection we have established in this case, there is no problem in these cases. Fine, it is. No issues with for the connections, no problem at all for the connections whatever we are having inside this. Well, so there is no issue related to the connection whatever we were establishing. Okay, now once we have established this connection, so the question is, why did we establish the connection? We established connections just because to submit the query to the database, and that query when you are submitting to the database, so it should show its processing. So that's the reason you are submitting query to the database, just in order to get some result from the database. You are processing, you are sending some query to the database. Now what query? So depends here now. The question is, suppose if you are writing here, suppose string of, suppose some SQL you are writing it, SQL something you are writing, and maybe inside this some insert query you are writing, maybe something insert query you have written. This particular query now I need to submit to the database, but we have established this connection. Now first of all, or I'm not writing only the, I'm not being specific here, I'm just writing, what is that I'm writing now? Any type of query. Here we are talking about the query. Here what we are talking about, that is the query we are talking about. Fine. So we have written some query here. Okay, so this query, finally we have created this query. We have decided what query we wanted to submit to the database. We have decided it. Now with the help of this statement object, so we need this statement object, statement type of object. And why I am saying this is statement type of object? So in the last videos I have explained why I am saying it is a statement object, because it is statement, prepared statement, callable statement. These all are the interfaces, and since these all are the interfaces, we won't be able to create the object of this corresponding classes. So again, even I am repeating it again and again, that why I am saying it, that we will be creating the type of statement type of object. Well, the next one here is, next one is here what? st dot execute I am using. See, so there are following methods. Which is available inside statement interface. there are following methods which is available inside statement interface, and with the help of the statement object itself you can call the statement methods here. So that is one is the execute. Here you will be passing some query. There is some statement what I am writing here. So there is some SQL query you are passing to the database. One is again st dot execute query, again SQL I need to pass to the database, and st dot execute update, again we need to pass the SQL into this. Here you understand one thing here now. See here first, when in all these cases, so first is, why do we need the statement object? Again I am saying, we need the statement object so that with the help of that particular statement object we can submit the query to the database. Fine. Well, that we are using the statement object. I hope it is clear to you. Now again, after this there are few methods which is available inside statement interface. So with the help of that methods we can submit these queries to the database. Fine. We can submit all that queries to the database. That is what we are doing with the help of statement, and that is what we will be getting it inside this. Is it okay? Okay. So here one I am writing, see, and now I have written here three methods: execute update, and execute query and execute update. So in which case, which method I am going to use? Moreover, it depends on the type of query which you are trying to pass, from here, what type of query you are trying to pass to the database, like DML, DDL, DCL. These all commands are there in the databases like SQL and Oracle what we have. So in that, depending on the type of query what you are trying to pass from this execute method, it depends on that. So particularly we will be passing that query itself, and associated with that query we need to choose that particular method, which method we are going to use it in order to submit the query to the database. Is it okay? Now here you see, first is this execute update method. It returns to the type of integer. It returns, suppose, to the type of integer. We will come what is the meaning of integer return type here. Fine. Let's say execute query, that when we are submitting some data to the some query with the help of, when we are submitting some query with the help of execute query method into the database, so what it is actually going to happen? So here what will happen here, now you see that inside this we have a result set we have, which is an RS. The result set we are having, it will return to the type of result set here. Fine. It is going to return to the type of result set, and here it is going to have something called as the Boolean we are going to have. So it is going to return, this execute method is going to return to the type of something called as the Boolean type. It is going to return into these cases. Is it okay? It is going to return to the type of which one now? Boolean type it is going to return here, correct? So this form, which here we are doing it to return in this form. So here see, now hope you understand why we need the statement object, and with the statement object we are having these three methods: execute, execute query, execute update, and with the help of this one we can submit the query to the database, and again based on that we will be getting some result from the database. Whatever types of query you are submitting, based on that query itself you are going to get some result from the database. Is it okay? Now the thing is, if let's say we talk about that, if I am using here some query I am submitting here, if I am using some query which I am submitting to the database, I am using some query, I am submitting some query to the database. So it is going to return true or false. It is going to return what? True or false. Now it depends. It depends when it is going to return either true or when it is going to return either false. It depends on that. Fine. If, okay, more elaborately I'll be coming on all that things, when it is going to return true and when it is going to return false. But if you have any question or if you have some doubt related, that if many of you note it down, this is something which confusion everyone is having, most of you, or generally you used to say this kind of confusion itself. What is that confusion? The confusion is that if the specified query is successful, if this specified query is successful, then it will return true, and if it is not successful, it will return false. It is a completely misconception we are having. It is entirely misconceptions you have into that, right? So here again I'll tell you, if the query what I am writing here and that you are submitting to the database, and if that query returns, if your database returns some results that is in the form of data types, in the form like select queries, it is returning some data, so that internally will be there in the form of result set, and when it is returning some result set, then it is going to return here the true, or else it is going to return the false. When it is RS type, result set type, it is going to return true, or else it is going to return the false. So the important thing what you have to see here is, even if your query is successful, you have written the query successfully, you have placed the query successfully, and even though it is returning the false. Why it is returning false? Query is successful, then also it is returning false. Why? Because the query, it is not coming up with the data, it is not coming with the type of result set object, and that's the reason it is returning the false. But when it is returning false, before returning the false, automatically already the query what it has to perform the operation into the database, that it has performed perfectly. There's no problem with that, there's no doubt at all in that, right? It is. But again now you see here again, execute query, it is better to write some select statements. Whenever you will write some select statements from here to the database, it will give you some result back again to you. Fine. So that is going to return in the form of result set. What is all these things? I'll be coming more in depth on all that in the next videos or upcoming classes. Here again, when I am writing st.execute update, so it is returning type of integer. Why it is returning type of integer? So based on the query what you're passing to the database, again in this also many technicality, many things are there, many different types of questions are coming into that I will be discussing, right? So the query what you are submitting to the database, with that query in your database, some number of records got affected. So it returns that the number of records got affected with your database in the database. And that is what this query returns here. So this number is returning that here. Fine. Now, again, so what all the main other special features related to the statement and all other sort of things, programs and all other things, that we will be discussing in the next class. So today I just came here to explain you something, because yesterday also we have not taken classes, and maybe you are getting some blur and also we are again solving something here. Okay, so next we will see tomorrow on the same time. Just I have given one basic introduction about the statements. What is next? That will be coming tomorrow, and further classes here and all of this. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Good night to all of you.